A newspaper article on Britain's unions argued that their strength was declining. The article's evidence was the decreasing number and size of strikes, as if the reason for the union's existence was to organize strikes. Surely, in a modern industrial society, the calling of strikes is evidence that the negotiating position of the union was too weak. Strong unions do not need to call strikes. They can concentrate their efforts on working with others in the labor market to achieve common goals such as profitable and humane working conditions.
All right, so what is our conclusion here? This one's tricky.
I think it would be, I'm just reading it again. Okay, maybe after Shirley, in a modern industrial society, the calling of a strike is evidence that the.
So this one's actually really tricky because I feel like this is one of the very few examples where it's not like a direct sentence that is our conclusion. So our opinion of others here, kind of like our background information, is this idea that the newspaper article on Britain unions argued that their strength was declining. And the article's evidence was that decreasing number of size of strikes as if reason for the union's existence was to organize these strikes. I think our conclusion here is more so like their evidence is bad.
Right, okay.
Like it's more that idea, and because like strong unions do not need to call strikes. So the idea that the newspaper article on Britain's unions argued that their strength was declining, like their evidence doesn't support that. And so how we want to go about these reasoning questions though, so it says like employs which of the strategies, is what does the author do to get to that conclusion?
They give, I guess, like.
Which I guess
They
actually,
come.
when you said Shirley, did you say Shirley was a conclusion?
Yeah.
I would say that that's a good, yeah, because we're saying the calling of a strike is evidence that the negotiating, like, so their evidence, in turn, their evidence is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we show that they're at that conclusion? How would you prephrase that?
I guess they compare it to, like a modern industrial society. Like they, I guess, use a comparison.
Um, they can concentrate their efforts on. I think we go about by showing that their Britain's unions, that a newspaper article on Britain unions argue that their strength is declining. I think it shows us that they took that the idea that the that the unions were decreasing in number and size of strike was their support for why the unions were declining, right? And we kind
Mm-hmm.
of take that and we say, actually, the fact that this is declining shows that they're not weak or they're not bad. So I feel like we kind of like put their evidence in better light and like we like almost qualify it to explain something.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of what we do. We say like, hey, you're like, yes, your evidence is accurate, but your evidence isn't supporting what you think it supports. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
put it in a different light. So let's go ahead and start with A. Tell me if you love it, leave it, or hate it.
I would leave it. It sounds pretty good, I think.
So what does A mean when it says questioning the accuracy of the statistical evidence? So what is the statistical evidence that we're questioning the accuracy of?
The number, and they mentioned the number of number and size of the strikes.
So are we saying that the size and number of the strikes is not decreasing? Are we saying they're actually going up? Is that what we do?
Right. No.
You see how like one word, no, you're not, like, this is a tough question. You see how one word makes that wrong? Because we're not actually questioning the accuracy of it.
Right, okay. We're questioning the way the thing they use to
How they
prove.
apply it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, let's go
Okay.
on.
B, hate it. I will cross it out.
Excellent.
C, sounds good because they're talking about the way they interpret the evidence.
Yes, they're reinterpreting it to indicate the opposite, that every
Mhm.
part of this answer choice is good. All right, let's go on.
Okay. Arguing that the newspaper's articles conclusions motivated by desire to change the rule. Leave it, or I would cross it out.
Yeah, because we're not saying like, hey, your conclusion is argued by the desire that you want to change this in any way. We don't offer anything
Mhm.
like that. All right, and what about E?
I would also leave cross that one out.
We don't have any reason, we don't say any common interest between the two whatsoever. So this one, the tricky one on this one, it's definitely answer A. We can see how like one word makes something go
Mhm.
wrong.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.